It was supposed to be a peaceful morning. Sun peeking through the trees. Coffee hot in my hand. And the only sound I wanted to hear was birdsong. But instead, I got a loud crunch and a scream. I turned just in time to watch my neighborlets call her Rhonda fly over the handlebars of her red ATV and crash into the dirt like a bad action movie stunt gone wrong. Her visor flew one way, her phone the other, and her tiny dog barked like it was calling in backup. "You tried to kill me," she screamed, writhing on the ground while her dog circled her like it was doing damage assessment. I just took a slow sip of my coffee and pointed to the massive wooden wall she'd just rammed into, the one with the giant sign that said, "Private property, no access." This wasn't the first time Rhonda had cut across my land. It wasn't even the fifth. Ever since I moved into this quiet rural neighborhood 6 months ago, she's treated the old tractor trail behind my barn like it was her personal freeway. Morning, noon, night revving that ATV like she was qualifying for the Indy 500. At first, I thought maybe she was lost. Then it became a pattern. And when I confronted her, she just laughed and waved like we were on a sitcom. I told her it was private land. She said, "That trail's been here forever. Everybody uses it. It's community access." Yeah. Well, I checked. No easements. No right-of-way. The trail was mine. I tried subtle signs, reflectors, a polite chat. Nothing worked. She even mocked my signs, claimed the wind blew them down, and then threatened to report me to the HOA. That's when I found out the real kicker. She was the HOA. Or at least, she claimed to be. She wore a badge she printed off the internet and called herself the enforcement chairperson. Not elected. Not official. Just self-appointed queen of the cul-de-sac. Suddenly, I was getting violation notices about the height of my grass and my mailbox being a half-inch too short. It was clear this wasn't about a trail. This was a power trip. So, I did what any reasonable, mildly spiteful landowner would do: built a wall. Solid cedar beams, concrete footings, and 2 motion cameras to make sure I had every angle covered. And for flavor, I added a sign that said, "Shortcut ends here. Karen." Yeah, it was petty, but satisfying. Rhonda hit that wall like Wile E. Coyote chasing a roadrunner. And when she limped to my porch threatening lawsuits, I calmly showed her the footage and reminded her she was trespassing. Her face turned crimson. She stormed off, but I knew it wasn't over. That night, I spotted her in her backyard with binoculars, taking notes. The next day, an HOA violation letter appeared under my door claiming I'd built an unauthorized structure. Signed, of course, by enforcement chairperson Rhonda. So I drove to the county office. Surprise. My land had been grandfathered in years ago. It was exempt from HOA oversight because it used to be zoned agricultural. I got the stamped paperwork to prove it. But Rhonda, She doubled down, called an emergency HOA meeting, handed out flyers accusing me of building a dangerous obstruction, and presented dramatic photos of her overturned ATV like it was a crime scene. I showed up to the meeting, GoPro hidden in my shirt pocket, and waited for my turn. When she finished her rant, I stood up and handed out copies of my exemption. Then I played the game cam footage her trespassing, ignoring signs, and finally crashing into my wall. The mood in the room flipped. A few neighbors even chuckled. But Rhonda, she pivoted again. Claimed it wasn't about law, it was about community values and safety. That's when I dropped the big one. Any further harassment would go straight to my lawyer. And then came the graffiti. Land thief spray painted across my wall in bright pink. I checked the cameras. Rhonda's daughter and a friend, giggling like they'd just pulled off a prank. I didn't go to the cops. I called my cousin Alan, a civil rights attorney with a hobby for dismantling HOA bullies. Alan drove in with legal documents, a cease and desist letter, and a grin. At the next meeting, he handed Rhonda the papers and read aloud the state statute invalidating every bogus citation she ever wrote. He even handed the HOA board footage of her daughter vandalizing the wall. But the final act came at 1 a.m. A few nights later, I heard noise outside. Checked my drone cam, and there she was with a group of friends and tools, trying to take down the wall. I had already warned Deputy Cruz about possible vandalism. So when I sent him the live drone footage, he texted back one word: "On my way." The red and blue lights hit them mid-demolition. One ran. One froze. Rhonda tried to explain she was protecting the neighborhood, but Cruz wasn't buying it. She was arrested for trespassing and property damage. The next morning, Facebook lit up. A neighbor posted drone footage with the caption, "HOA Queen Dethroned." Rhonda's fake position was eliminated. 2 board members resigned, and a formal investigation into the HOA began. Rhonda tried to get her ATV back, but it was held as evidence. She claimed medical necessity. They asked for paperwork. She had none. Eventually, her house went up for sale. Quiet listing. No takers. Until one out-of-towner bid. As she moved out, I found a patio she built in my land, legally abandoned. So I turned it into a chicken coop and painted a sign, "Rhonda's Retreat." Now the wall stands stronger than ever. Kids ride bikes past it. Neighbors wave. And sometimes, they stop just to read the sign and smile. This whole saga wasn't just about a shortcut, it was about standing your ground against manufactured power. And if you've ever had to deal with a Rhonda in your life, let me know in the comments. What would you have done? Let's talk HOA drama.